It's so good for Indian cricket, isn't it? Manas Labuschagne and his numbers. He's been amongst runs from the time he's been brought back into the side. Runs in South Africa. Got 39 at Mohali. Was looking good before playing that reverse sweep to be stumped in an unlucky manner. It's so good for India, isn't it, Ravi, that you play any fast bowler there amongst wickets. Someone like Prasidh Krishna gets a gig, and he started off so well. Shami in the previous game.
That's where the thinking should change. You know, when teams would come to India, they would think all spin, spin, spin. What you shouldn't forget, across all formats, that pace attack can trouble you. A lot of sides, even in test matches, the emphasis is how do you play the spinners. And they don't realize that India has a good pace attack and they can rattle the top order.
It actually bodes very well for Indian cricket. Mohammad Siraj was simply superb, and the amount of progress he has made in white ball cricket, I think it's just exemplary. Yes, he's always been a very good red ball cricketer, red ball bowler. T20 cricket, he started off getting smashed, and then the way he's bowled in one-dayers and in T20 cricket, and obviously Shami has been doing it for a long time. Bumrah, he's a class apart. So it's just good that Indian cricket has such good fast bowlers. Prasidh Krishna now.
Sometimes people ask who should play, Shami or Siraj. I said, why not both? With Bumrah. Stripped away. Gets his hands to it.
I think you make a really good point there with the Indian fast bowlers. We know you come over to the subcontinent, you're going to get a lot of spin, but over time, guys like Shami, we've seen it in the first game, the way he generates something off the surface. We only have to go back to the Steve Smith dismissal in the first game where he hit the seam, and well, good save there. But the way they use their wrist, and Shami's a perfect example of that. We've seen him tonight swing a couple away, bring some in, but he's always presenting the seam, and if there's anything in the surface, he always gets something out of it.
All of them are asking questions all the time. That's what's so good about them.
Beauty. That's why when you look at this Indian unit, I keep saying this is the strongest Indian unit since the World Cup winning team in 2011, because they've got the faster bowlers with the skill sets. You can already see the difference between the Indian opening batsman and the Indian top order and the Australian. Australians throwing their hands and looking to hit the ball too hard, looking to reach out for the ball. India, on the other hand, let the ball come to them. Feet, hands moving together in unison. Three gone, 12 for 2. For 2. Now Prasidh Krishna tail up, 2 wickets under his belt. Good stop.
That'll be another question, isn't it?
Just have a look here of the dismissal of Matt Short. That ball nearly going to be a wide, but look where his front foot is, and Steve Smith's very similar. Straight down the wicket, and both batsmen are playing a long way away from the body. The one thing we've seen with the Indian batsmen today, they played the ball late and under their eyes, and they got towards the ball. Very un-Steve Smith, like they're playing with his hands and not his feet.
This is a good line. He's not given anything so far.
And there's a sharp patch there to Ashwin, but Steve Smith It was all hands. We see a lot when he's in form. He hasn't played a lot of cricket as he plays the ball late, knows where he's off stump is, and just on that occasion it was all hands and allowed the ball to lose control and get caught in the slip.
It could all be because of the scoreboard that they're chasing, or the score, or the target that they're chasing. Sometimes when you're batting first, the same deliveries are let alone, and sometimes when you have up against 399 runs on the board, you start throwing your hands at everything.
You feel like you have to score off every ball, and the one thing we've seen, and Gill did it really well during his innings, he went through his gears. At time he took his medicine, played the ball late, allowed his partner to get on with the game. Just there, looked like they were in a hurry to get in rather.
Nice shot. Just walked across his stumps, and that's what made the shot possible. Just felt he has to do something to upset the rhythm of the bowler.
Going back to those couple of dismissals, that what they did really well is play the tempo well, go up and down in the gears. But with Australia there, it is scoreboard pressure. They look like they have to score off every ball rather than giving themselves a chance, and knowing in this surface and venue you'll score later as more time you spend at the middle.
Two slips in place. Where Prasidh Krishna has come along nicely is he's shortened his run up. He runs hard at the crease. There's a good burst when he comes in. Then good wrist action, hits the deck, gets good nip off the surface and bounce. A wiry physique, tall man. It's literally a sprint to the crease. In the air, in the gap as well. And once you do that, there's no need to run for the fielder. The ball will race away. So 2 boundaries in the over for Warner. He should feel better.
Also for someone like Prasidh Krishna, the ball is swinging from his hand, so you need to be very careful where you're actually releasing it. 2 deliveries in this over. He's drifted down the leg side, one fuller, one slightly short, one has been tucked away, and the other one driven between mid-wicket and mid-on. So just need to be careful. You've got slips, everything is going right for you.
Four overs bowled, 22 for 2. $22 for 2. Still need 378. Remember the target 400. India on the attack. The slipper gully in place. Still Mohammad Shami. So the bankable fact by IDFC Bank first is Mohammad Shami. 5-wicket haul. The last was 16 years ago on Indian soil. That was done by Zahir Khan. 2007. That'll race away. Once it hits those practice pitches, ball disappears.
Yeah, different approach here from David Warner. He's just setting up to say to Mohammad Shami here, I was going to ramp that, trying to put him off his length. He knows how consistent Shami is with his length, and he has got Warner a number of times through the gate, so he's just trying to get him off his length.
Good to see this intent from Warner. He's much more dangerous when he plays like this. Might get out on the odd occasion, but when that intent is shown to the bowler, he makes things happen. 5 wickets in Mahali in real hot and sultry conditions. He was outstanding. Test figures, got Marsh early. Then a beauty to Steve Smith. Another big one of Stoinis. Finally rattling the timber again. He's been a tremendous asset for India. Cross formats, been around for a long time. It's a tribute to his fitness. Just his skill.
Ravi, what do you make of Ishan Kishan keeping? From the time KL Rahul came back into the side with both of them in the playing 11, KL Rahul kept in the last game as well. Is that also something which the Indian team needs to look at? Who's going to be the better keeper? Who's the first choice keeper?
Absolutely, especially when you have quality spinners in your side. When you have a wrist spinner, keeper's role becomes very important. Especially in conditions like that exist in India where the ball will turn.
Especially with an event like the World Cup, I think you need your best clubman behind, because you can actually change the tempo of a game with that half chance. We seen last match, we seen Inglis just miss one early where it could have changed the game. But you need your quality behind the stumps, and especially with the wickets at the later end of the tournament when they start to turn, you can turn that half chance into a wicket. All of a sudden you can change the tempo of the match.
Right on.
5 gone, 26 for 2.
Yeah, that's the India squad for you. ICC Cricket World Cup 2023. Akshay Patel, Indian team sweating on his fitness. First choice spinner picked alongside Kuldeep Yadav, and Ravindra Jadeja also picked as an all-rounder. You've got two keepers, Rishabh Pant missing out, KL Rahul, Ishan Kishan, both of them batting beautifully. A question for both Ravi and Brad. Who's the better keeper? Whom would you pick as a keeper? Shot, great shot, finds the gap.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Do you pick your keeper first and then you pick your best 11? To me, KL Rahul's in the team. He's 100% locked. Ishan Kishan, we're not sure whether he's going to be in the best 11. So can you go into a World Cup saying whenever he plays, you're going to wicketkeeper? All of a sudden that throws the momentum out of your number one keeper. So they've got a decision to make. I think probably Ishan Kishan's the more natural wicketkeeper, but he's not guaranteed a spot.
How do you view that, Ravi?
I agree totally. If Rahul's more or less a certainty in the side, then he may as well keep the wickets, because you've got options in that middle order. You've got Shreyas Iyer now getting that 100. You've got Surya Kumar Yadav as well. And yes, you know, against certain sides you might want a left-hander in the middle order, then both can play.
Yeah, that was the question which possibly everyone needs to answer, isn't it? Someone like Ishan Kishan in the middle order for his left-handedness, and also that he's a go-getter. He goes after the bowling.
Oh, he's picked it up nicely. And another boundary for David Warner. So he's looked to pick up Prasidh Krishna on the onside. This is the third boundary of him.
And the key to David Warner's batting at the moment is, yes, he's got that intent to score, but he's waiting for the ball and playing the ball late. We've seen the ball swing quite a bit in the first 4 overs, but hasn't got out in front of himself. He's waited to the ball that came to him. And on this venue, you don't have to overplay your hand because the boundaries are so small and the ball will travel.
What you also must see is that if there's some dew later on, we saw Prasidh Krishna wiping the ball with a towel. All the bowlers have a towel behind. It would suggest that they expect some dew, which means the ball will skid onto the surface. So important, Australia get a partnership going.
It's always interesting, the conversation in the change room when you come to India about the dew. And a lot of the time, the decision pending around where you bat or bowl is what's going to happen in the back end of the game. But in big events like World Cups, it's still good to have runs on the board.
It always is a conversation for everyone, even the comms, or when you go for a pitch report, what is the likelihood? But again, it can be a bit of hit or miss, because the curators would say that if the wind continues to blow, there won't be any dew. It has been a hit or miss, to be very honest.
I was listening with intent there because I was waiting to get the answer. My whole 15-year career, I don't know the answer why the dew comes or it doesn't. So I was listening with intent.
I don't think none of us know.
That's 4. Was in the air, but wide of Jadeja. 2 boundaries again in that over. 40 for 2.
Again, cut away. Too much width. Prasidh Krishna started well, but then he's bowled a few deliveries which have been easy to put away.
So India 399 for 5. 200s there in that Indian innings. Shreyas Iyer, Shubman Gill, Surya Kumar Yadav making a quick fire 72. Australia 40 for 2 in reply.
Marnus Labuschagne here. The difference between his shot and Smith's there is he waited for the ball to get past his back hip, played it off the back foot and didn't try to overhit the ball. You know how fast the ball will race here. Big opportunity though for Marnus. With Travis Head under an injury cloud, can Marnus Labuschagne force his way into the side, maybe the middle order for the first game of the World Cup?
Oh, he's put that down. Shami's hand went up. You see, but that's the thigh pad, and he signaled from the umpire. In fact, it's leg by signal, so it's off the thigh pad. Went quickly to Ishan Kishan.
It's always a good feeling as a wicketkeeper, and there's a half chance, and you look up to the umpire and he's signalling leg byes.